You have an overfeeding problem. Not every day. You're feeding your mind thousands of toxic thoughts, and then wondering why it feels like it's attacking you. What if I told you, in the next 24 hours, imagine your mind is a room that hasn't been cleaned in 20 years. Every piece of trash, every rusted scrap of metal, childhood. Right now, as you watch this, most people are living in a literal mental landfill, and they don't even realize it because they've become used to the smell. You are exhausted, not because you're working too hard, but because your brain is. We've been taught to fast from food to heal the body, but nobody ever taught you how to fast from the thoughts that are killing your potential. If you feel like your anxiety is a monster you can't control, it's because you are the one feeding it. Today, we stop. We are going to starve your anxiety through a 24-hour mental fast that triggers a psychological reset most people won't achieve. In a lifetime, the average human cycles through roughly 60,000 thoughts every single day. That is a staggering amount of cognitive data. 80% of those thoughts are negative, and 95% are exactly the same repetitive loops they had yesterday. Your own stress. Your brain triggers a physical cortisol response. You are burning real glucose, draining your physical energy, and sabotaging your sleep quality for thoughts that provide zero ROI. We have become a society of mental gluttons, consuming every outrage, every notification, and every insecurity without a second thought. But just as the body has a mechanism to heal itself when it stops consuming food, the mind has a dormant ability to purge its own debris. This brings us to the core of the 24-hour mental fast, the biomechanics of the mental reset in the world of physical health. We talk about autophagy, the process where your cells literally clean out the junk proteins to make room for new growth. Mental fasting is the practice of triggering psychological autophagy. This isn't about toxic positivity or pretending problems don't exist. It's about selective starvation. If you stop feeding a stray dog, it eventually leaves your porch. If you stop feeding a thought with your attention, it loses its power to trigger your nervous system. This is a concept rooted in the ancient yogic tradition of pratyahara, or the withdrawal of the senses. Thousands of years ago, sages realized that the human mind is like a mirror. If the environment is chaotic, the mirror reflects chaos. By closing the gates of sensory input, you aren't hiding from the world. You are finally allowing the dust to settle so you can see who you actually are. In the modern landscape, we are obsessed with optimization. We track our steps, our macros, and our sleep cycles, yet we leave the most powerful engine in the world, our brain, on a diet of pure cognitive junk food. When you enter a mental fast, you are essentially biohacking your focus. Think of your attention as a high-powered laser. Currently, that laser is being refracted into 1,000 different directions by social media, news cycles, and internal monologues. It's weak and scattered. But when you apply the discipline of pratyahara, you are refocusing that laser into a single sharp point. You are telling your brain that it no longer has permission to wander into the dark alleys of maybe and should have. This is the ultimate discipline for a world that is designed to keep you overstimulated and underfocused. By the time we finish this 24-hour protocol, you won't just feel calmer, you will feel like you've been upgraded to a more efficient version of yourself. The reason most people fail at meditation or mindfulness is that they try to add new habit to a brain that is already overflowing with toxins. You can't put clean water into a glass filled with mud and expect to drink. You have to pour the mud out first. This mental fast is that pouring out process. It is a radical act of reclamation. We are moving away from the more is better philosophy of the digital age and moving toward a less is powerful mindset. You have to realize that your anxiety isn't an intruder. It's time to put that pet on a strict diet. As we move into the next phase of this protocol, delivery systems for the very anxiety you claim to hate. We are going to identify the hidden killers of your peace and learn exactly how to cut the cord. To understand why your mind feels like a battlefield, you have to look at what you're feeding it. We live in an era of information obesity. Just as sugar and processed oils inflame the body, certain digital and psychological behaviors inflame the brain. The first hidden killer is doom scrolling. When you wake up and immediately reach for your phone, you are subjecting your nervous system to a barrage of microshocks. You are seeing a war in another country, followed by a political scandal, followed by a stranger's perfect vacation, followed by a tragedy. This isn't information. It's a direct injection of cortisol. Your brain isn't designed to process the collective trauma of 8 billion people before you've even had your first cup of coffee. By engaging in this, you are telling your brain that the world is a dangerous, unpredictable place. And we wonder why random hits of anxiety strike us in the middle of the afternoon. Then there is the toxin of comparison-induced anxiety. On social media, you aren't comparing your life to reality. You are comparing your behind-the-scenes footage to everyone else's highlight reel. This creates a psychological gap where your brain concludes that you are falling behind. This isn't a minor annoyance. It's a leading cause of the modern depression epidemic in the U.S. When you feed your mind a steady diet of other people's curated successes, you are starving your own sense of gratitude. You become a ghost in your own life, perpetually looking over the fence at a lawn that is literally filtered to look greener. This constant state of lack creates a background hum of anxiety that never truly goes away. You aren't anxious because you're a failure. You're anxious because you've outsourced your self-worth to an algorithm designed to keep you feeling inadequate. But the toxins aren't just coming from your screen. They are coming from your own internal junk food habits. One of the most expensive things you can do with your mental energy is replaying past arguments. Think about how much power you give to someone you don't even like when you spend 3 hours in the shower winning a fight that happened 2 years ago. Every time you do this, your brain doesn't know the difference between the memory and reality. It pumps out the same stress hormones it did during the actual conflict. You are literally poisoning your own blood with chemicals because you refuse to stop feeding a dead conversation. The same applies to catastrophizing the future. We spend 90% of our lives worrying about things that will never happen. This is a massive calorie burn of your cognitive resources. You are exhausting yourself. by fighting shadows, leaving you with zero energy to handle the actual challenges of today. If you feed the chaos eventually becomes your identity. Many people have lived with anxiety for so long that they don't know who they are without it. They've become professional worriers. Their brain has become so adapted to high stress environments that when things are actually going well, they feel uneasy. They start looking for a problem just so they can return to their baseline of stress. This is the ultimate danger of mental toxins. They rewrite your neural pathways. You become addicted to the drama of your own thoughts. To break this cycle, we have to treat these habits like a physical addiction. You wouldn't tell an alcoholic to just drink less. You would tell them to stop. That is why the 24-hour fast is so radical. We aren't trying to manage the toxins. We are going to cut off the supply entirely. In the next part, we are going to dive into the literal mechanics of the fast, the high-performance protocol that will allow you to reclaim your brain. We are going to stop being victims of the noise and start being the gatekeepers of our own consciousness. It's time to move from consumption mode to creation mode. The toxins have had their turn. Now, it's time for the cure. To reclaim your mind, you need a strategy, not just an intention. This is the high-performance protocol, a strict 24-hour window designed to starve the noise and feed the focus. It starts with the 30-minute clean window. For the first half hour of your day, your phone is non-existent. No news, no emails, no social media. This is your psychological fast-breaking period. By protecting this window, you allow your brain to move from a theta state to alpha naturally, without being hijacked by someone else's agenda. You are setting the tone that you are the commander of your consciousness, not a consumer of the world's chaos. During the day, you will implement the binary thought audit. This is a ruthless practice of mental labeling. Every time a thought arises, you must ask one question. Is this functional, or is this noise? A functional thought is, what do I need for this meeting? Noise is, what if I mess up and everyone laughs? If it's functional, address it. You acknowledge its presence, but you refuse to chew on it. You starve it of your attention until it withers. As the sun sets, you enter the information curfew. 1 hour before bed, all high-stimulation content is cut off. No thrillers, no intense debates, and absolutely no scrolling. This protects your subconscious as you transition into sleep, ensuring that your brain isn't processing digital garbage while it's trying to repair itself. It's a blueprint for a high-performance life. You will find that when you stop leaking energy into the void of what-ifs and they-sides, you suddenly have a surplus of power to build the life you've always talked about, but were too tired to start. Your attention is the most valuable currency on Earth. Every tech giant, every news outlet, and every advertiser is in a multi-billion-dollar war to steal it from you. When you give it away to negative thought loops, you are essentially making yourself poor. Stop spending your limited mental capital on things that don't give you a return. I am challenging you right now to a 72-hour trial of this protocol. Start with the 24-hour fast and see how the world changes when you stop feeding the monster. The anxiety you feel isn't a life sentence. It's a symptom of what you've been consuming. Comment below. What is the one specific negative thought loop you are going to starve this week? By writing it down, you are pulling it out of the shadows and into the light where it can no longer control you. Let's build a community of people who are too busy building their future to be haunted by their thoughts. What you feed grows, and what you starve dies. It's time to choose. Your anxiety isn't your identity. It's just a pattern you've been feeding for too long, and now you know the truth. What you stop feeding dies, So tell me in the comments, what's the one thought you're done feeding today? Because this isn't just a reset. This is the moment you take your mind back.